And joining us now, Representative Trey Lamar, member of the Mississippi House of Representatives. He is the chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee, and he represents District 8. Morning, Trey.
Gerard, can you hear me?
I got you, man. How you doing today?
I'm doing fine. I'm new to these headphones here, so you may have to bear with me a little bit.
No problem. You're sounding good. We got you. So appreciate you joining us. Session all signy done, out, done. But I know you guys, you got a lot done. It was an engaging and active session, and I know you guys are always discussing and planning for the next session. But let's give us a little update, if you would, about what you were pleased with that got accomplished, what kind of got left on the table, and just an overall summary of the session.
Well, be glad to do that, Gerard. We finished back around the 1st of April. Most of the listeners probably know that now. I know you've had several folks on the radio that have talked about it. I'm glad to have had the last almost month now to recover from the session. I told some people when I was asked that it felt like we were at the end of a 2-year session because of everything that went on last year and just rolled into 2021. And so it's been a whirlwind. What a time to serve in the legislature, and what a time to chair the Ways and Means Committee as well. But that said, in 2021, your legislature did accomplish, contrary to what some people may think, we did make some accomplishments and move the state forward in some significant ways. We were able to fund a teacher pay raise, which is good, and we're going to have continued work on that endeavor in the upcoming years as well. I know Chairman Bennett in the House has done a great job, and also the leadership in the Senate as well in moving that issue forward and getting us closer to where we need to be. We're not there yet, but we're closer to where we need to be than we were yesterday with our teachers. We also were able to fund significant infrastructure projects across the state, which is a lot of what my committee, the Ways and Means Committee, deals with different projects through our bond bill, as well as through some other appropriation and cash projects we were able to fund. And those were extensive. I told the body back during March that I felt like this is one of the best bond bills we have passed in my career. There are infrastructure projects all the way from Tennessee to the coast, both through responsible bonding as well as through cash payments, through appropriations all over the state. And the citizens, I think that's what the citizens want to see. They want to see improvements, visible improvements that they can see, that are tangible, that they see where their elected leaders are actually getting things done that will benefit them. And being responsible with the funding that we have, and so we did that, and then we advanced. What I'm most proud of, we had, although it didn't make it across the finish line, we had significant, serious policy conversations about major comprehensive tax reform in the state that will continue throughout this year and into next session, where I am very hopeful that we'll be able to push that across the finish line.
Yeah, and so it was fairly active in that respect, and as you said, we had that major piece of legislation that didn't get the necessary traction over on the Senate side, but at least we're having the conversation, and the discussion is underway, and of course Speaker Gunn was on the program a few weeks ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago, right after the session. He made it very clear that was his top priority. Was comprehensive tax reform, and in fact, he shared with us his intention of traveling the state during the summer months in preparation for next year's session, and is going to continue to educate Mississippians about the benefits of the legislation and his thoughts on that, and just try to get the word out, and I guess just promote support for it. I think it's complicated, as you know, Representative Lamar. Anytime you're dealing with taxes, even state taxes, it's just complicated, especially in this case where we're making more changes than just, I guess, those directly impacting income taxes. We're having effects and changes and adjustments to other taxes as well, and that tends to complicate the situation. And We talked about it a lot here on the show, but
Sure.
I totally support the program and think this is the right direction for the state.
Well, the state of Mississippi is never going to move in the direction that we need it to move in at the rate we want it to move in until we grow our private sector economy. And I fully believe that that the elimination of our state individual income tax can be the single greatest thing that we can do to spur private sector growth in this state. And I say that responsibly, knowing that we're not. I want people to understand we're not looking at blowing a hole in our state budget. We just see, and we had substantial support from various economic groups and economists that can back this up, with independent studies and data that shows this would be a big boom to the state of Mississippi. And so we look at doing it in a responsible way. It's not, as I said, not cutting a hole in the state budget. It's just a different way of collecting our tax revenue that will benefit the people and ultimately the state's economy and our gross domestic product will all increase because of it.
Yeah. So, Trey, a lot of folks over on the Senate side, as you know, including the lieutenant governor, suggested that they just needed more time. They needed to see more analysis and dig into it deeper. In retrospect, do you think that the whole initiative should have been handled a little different? I'm just asking honestly. Would we have benefited in getting some more support and traction over in the Senate and from Lieutenant Governor Hosemann if we just would maybe had communicated a little different about it? In retrospect, does that appear to be the case?
Well, hindsight's always 20/20, Gerard. But I'll tell you this. I can speak for me personally. I always felt like this was going to be a multi-year effort. This is by far the most comprehensive and piece of policy that I have worked on in my 10-year career, and I think Speaker Gunn would tell you the same thing as far as his career, which is 16 plus years now. So, in fact, most anybody serving, this is the most comprehensive piece of policy that any of us have considered as far as the way we're changing the way that the state collects its revenue and the way we tax our people. Instead of punishing work, we want to reward work, and we feel like we can do that in a responsible way. So looking back on last year, we felt like we've been working on this in the House for several years now. This is not something you just wake up one day and think, oh, I want to eliminate the income tax. It just doesn't work that way. So we had been working on it for several years, and we had every intention of having conversations last year all over the state, continued detailed studies. But we had this thing called COVID that popped up last March that we had to deal with, and really had a very unprecedented year in the Mississippi Legislature. So there just was not time for it. And so going into this 2021 session, I knew in my heart that we were going to have a long road to hoe to get this accomplished in year one. Looking back on it, I'm very proud of the conversations that we did have. We drafted and put together a very detailed, comprehensive, and I'll say, to somebody who hadn't looked at it every day like I have, can be complicated, at least in concept, plan. And so I certainly understand why our brothers and sisters in the Senate, want more time to look at it. And in hindsight, I believe that's probably a very responsible thing for them to do. And I welcome this year going forward, working with Lieutenant Governor Hosemann and Chairman Harkins, who is a dear friend of mine. And I feel like we now have time to meet with them and show them the benefits of this plan, as well as Speaker Gunn plans on dealing with people across the state and the citizens. So we look forward to that, and we have a whole year to accomplish it, and I look forward to it. It's going to be fun. Yeah.
We got a break right here. Can you stay with us?
Sure.
Yeah. All right, great. We got Representative Trey Lamar. He represents House District 8. He'll be with us after the break.